All right. I had a interesting conversation today with one of my professors who I feel like I have like a great relationship with, and he's kind of like beginning to be sort of a mentor for me in the political world, philosophical world. It was like my first day back, and I'm in another class with him, and I got some extra time outside, and he allows me to talk with him a lot extra. But I think he actually enjoys it because this is going to get into my topic is basically, I think from the short amount of time that I've actually dove into this philosophical world, it's kind of clear, at least, maybe not even just philosophy, but a lot of the push for academic and actual wisdom is kind of dying and falling to the wayside. It's kind of sad when I see a lot of kids. This is kind of, it gets into the passion kind of aspect, but not just that, but the passion and then combining it with societal views and what we deem as successful or like what we think we should be striving for, a lot of it has shifted. Education used to be a thing, I think at least, that was looked at as become more intelligent so you can better understand the world as a whole. Um, and it was interesting coming from a professor who he got his bachelor's or his undergrad in, man, I get this mixed up all the time. I believe he got his undergrad in philosophy, and then he went and got a political science PhD or master's in graduate school. And he is even suggesting to me that uh, philosophy is kind of being what's the word I want to use here? It's devolving, not devolving, but it's just not being cared for or looked at as much as maybe it should be, and it kind of shows within our society. He even suggested to me the big thing that I brought up to him is I'm slowly but surely thinking that instead of pursuing a graduate program for archaeology or anthropology of something of like more concrete nature, I guess you could say, that the ultimate dream I think I'm looking to have is to embark in a master's or PhD in philosophy. Now, not to say that that is an idiotic idea, but he did suggest to me, don't do this naively. Understand that the world is kind of changing and there's not much room for this anymore. And he's not suggesting to not do it. He just wants me to understand what might become of it if I go into this with the ideas of not being of understanding that I'm not going to make any money depending on what I do, and if philosophically I'm inclined to teach or profess, there's not that much room for um, professing or teaching or in the education realm either. So it's hard to actually actualize the idea of becoming a philosopher if that's a real thing. I think this professor of mine is has been like the one of the biggest monumental pushes in my life of understanding myself and learning what I love. If I could have everyone in the world take one of his courses at least once in their life, I would highly recommend it. And I speak highly of this professor because it's another one of those passion discussions that I had the other day. Is you can tell like he's the political science, but he he's very much a philosopher. He very much is a political philosopher in a sense, and I think even taking other courses that are more politically inclined, he has shown more um, care and interest in the philosophical classes. Not that he doesn't care about the others, but it's just there's something that happens when he gets a class that is engaged philosophically. He was the professor of my human rights class, and he loved it. He loved that class, I think, and because we had a great set of students that were willing to engage and discuss their ideas, even if we all weren't on the same page and kind of going back and forth, because that's the goal, right? Producing your own ideas, talking them through with each other. And it's just one of those things where it's like unfortunate that people don't get to see the beauty in it. I wish I could show you what kind of meaningful teachings these are. And it's not even like teachings on specific things, but to learn to navigate your own thoughts and critically think to a degree of where you understand you can be wrong and change your thoughts and views and understand um, intense reasoning and follow through with sound argument is I think the greatest form of academia. It's not just always about numbers. It's not just about dates and historical context and presentations, and sometimes it's just simply about dialogue, a back and forth between two people who are going against each other but together attempting to navigate and bring each other to each other's side, if you will. It's a tandem, it's a dance. And we sat and talked for, man, the better part of a good hour about life, about things in general, about what I want to do, about things he's done in the past. I learned a lot more about him. I brought up some ideas that I'm doing for the summer. I brought up that I'm doing these videos. I brought up he's ultimately gonna probably be my thesis advisor for my honors paper, and we talked a little bit about that. Talked about life. He's just one of those people that you meet that are so rare and far and in between that I'm so thankful for myself that I realized the situation and that I am taking advantage of learning as much as I can from him, because I don't think there's been a person that I've met that is so inclined to help so intensely on any matter, be it, life struggles, be it academic struggles, be it struggles of picking a favorite color. It's stupid and it's not really real, but my my point is it's so weird that I've ended up at this school that I'm at, and having not gone through philosophy at all, just to find him through an American government course and get suggested by a different professor to minor in philosophy and then to take his courses further on. And now I am suddenly, you know, finding myself falling deeply into the trenches of philosophy that I have changed so much as a person. Some people don't see it, and I don't put it on all the time, but some people don't actually, they don't know what's going on up in my own brain. I don't know what anybody's brain is thinking, but the way that my brain has changed and functioned within the matter of a good 2 years, year and a half, is I don't know how it got to this point. It's just been so formative these years for me, and I'm trying to understand that and grasp it and hold it tight while I have it, and better understand myself and just the journey that I'm on. This was supposed to be about like the death of philosophy, but in my world at the moment, philosophy is very strong, but it's only strong in this very tight little circle that I have. And my goal in life is hopefully that this can flourish once again. And if you dive into philosophy, that you can learn to love it. And philosophy isn't just about philosophy. Philosophy is just about simply understanding that academia isn't for the pursuit of wealth. Academia should be the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, nothing more. And I think truly I am attempting to do that, but at what cost? At what cost can you actually actualize that fully without understanding that the financial burden will hit at some point? I don't know. I wish philosophy was a greater endeavor in the sense that everybody loved it, but if everybody loved it, you know, it wouldn't be as special, I guess. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Some words for you.